Stephen Chbosky is an American director that was born on January 25, 1970 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He began directing in 1995 with his film The Four Corners of Nowhere and is still in the industry today. He began his career as a novelist, which is what has greatly helped him in adapting his own movies, starting with The Perks of Being a Wallflower. He wanted to direct his own film because he wanted it to be portrayed how it was originally written, as others would have taken scenes out, and as Chbosky states, the compromise would have killed the movie. His experience is unusual, as he thinks of screenwriting as creating his own book, not casting characters for a film, which allows for more thought and detail to be put into his works. By trying to emphasize kindness and how to overcome adversities in life, he teaches how to realistically face these problems and become stronger. His most successful films, critically, being The Perks of Being a Wallflower and Wonder, received positive feedback from audiences all over the world. However, Wonder had severely outsold Chbosky's previous film by $266 million and won world recognition, including the Truly Moving Picture Award, the Humanitarian Award, and being nominated for an Oscar. Although previously he had won 5 other awards for his adaptation of his own book, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Wonder still remains his most popular film. Today, Chbosky is currently writing another book and is also directing the Broadway musical Dear Evan Hansen, another story that discusses suffering and depression. He hopes to keep creating films and to become the first person in the Hollywood film industry to direct movies for 2 of his own books. Chbosky focuses on how he can correctly portray his movies the way that he envisions them. When choosing actors, he wants the best people that he can possibly find to fit in the world that he is trying to bring to life. For example, when he casted Julia Roberts in Wonder, although he was surprised and honored that she was even playing the role, he thought that she was the perfect person because of not only her acting experience, but because she is a mother. In this film, she was able to show a more compassionate and tender side of herself. Too, in The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Chbosky chose whoever he felt best fit the role. Picking actors like Logan Lerman, Emma Watson, and Ezra Miller allowed for their parts to be natural, as it was like they were playing themselves in the movie. Location appears to be sentimental in Chbosky's films as well. The Perks of Being a Wallflower was filmed in his hometown and childhood neighborhood, as it was a book that he had grown up writing and beginning to produce. Also with Wonder, he had filmed it in Canada around a hospital. Jacob Tremblay, who had played Augie, had asked for children with craniofacial deformities to send him letters so he could properly learn how to play his role. Additionally, The Four Corners of Nowhere was filmed in Ann Arbor, Michigan, but there is not much information on this movie, as it is not even available on DVD. Chbosky is able to share different emotions in movies that may have a similar theme or message behind them and make them unique in their own individual ways.
The point is to create something you're excited about, something you're proud to show.
In this scene, heavy music plays in the background as Jack realizes that Augie had been avoiding him for the past few months because he had heard him say that he would rather kill himself than look like him. It reveals the heart-wrenching guilt that Jack withholds along with his facial expression as he looks down at the desk. Also, it is ironic, as he stresses over what he has done, the teacher in the background states the point is to create something you're excited about, something you're proud to show, as it also acknowledges how Jack would rather be friends with Augie than anyone else in the school. He then redeems himself in the next few clips.
Mr. Will? Mr. Will? Something more important to think about?
No.
So, it'll be teams of 2.
The next clip, the music softly fades out to provide more emphasis on what Jack and the teacher are saying. It is ironic in the situation as he contemplates what he had done to the person sitting next to him and then tells the teacher that it was not important. The shot zooms out from Jack's worrisome expression to capture the disheartening look on Augie's to show how the situation is affecting both of them.
Your partner will be your table mate.
Miss Petosa? I know we're supposed to be in pairs, but Jack Amos and I had the science fair project idea that we wanted to work on together.
Okay, maybe we can switch.
No.
Sorry? What?
No, it's okay. I'll stay with who I've got. I'll stick with Augie.
As Julian begins to speak in the background, Augie turns away from him as he has not been very amiable. The camera then focuses to Julian and then to Jack as he becomes defensive over his choice of partners. It is a moment of surprise for everyone in the room as shots of each character are taken to show their reaction and continues to return back to Jack to see him smile for knowing what he had done was the right thing. The clip is finished with Augie staring at Jack in his seat, not able to sit still as he is uncomfortable with the situation.
Hey! What did you do that for?
Dude, I don't want to switch.
Why not? Do you really want to be partners with that freak?
The silence is interrupted with pounding and squeaking of shoes, opening lockers, and students filling the hallway as Julian chases Jack out of the classroom. They appear out of a group of students with the camera facing towards them to gather their anger and annoyance.
The shot is taken behind Jack as he turns around, placing his hands up defensively, and returns back to the original position when Julian continues to tease him. This leads for him to instantly turn around and punch Julian in response. It is a twist in personality for Jack, as he was the one that had ended up bullying Augie, but now he's defending him.
Dear Mr. Tushman, I am very sorry for punching Julian.
Julian then retaliates, shoving Jack against a locker and down to the ground. The perspective of the camera changes when he falls, looking up toward Julian to make him appear angrier and more powerful. The background noise then fades out and leads to soft music for Jack to begin his apology letter to the principal, to prove that even though his behavior was unacceptable, he acknowledges his mistake.
It was wrong of me to do that. I know you may need to expel me, but I'd still rather not say why I did what I did. It might get Julian in trouble too, and that's not fair.
As it is ironic that Jack explains how he was wrong to fight Julian while he continues to wrestle him, it shows maturity in his character. Although it wasn't his fault, he explains that he would rather not have anyone else get in trouble because he was able to stand up for who he wanted to. In this clip, it is a montage of Julian and Jack rolling and tugging each other on the floor for the camera to panel up at the surrounding students, showing the shock on their faces. Augie is then shown coming out of a crowd of kids as Jack states why I did what I did, to reveal his reasoning without actually having to say who he was fighting for. It is also ironic that Charlotte yells stop at the end of the clip, as she was portrayed as someone who is egotistical and does not care for others. It allows for the growth of all the characters to show through.
Sincerely, Jack Will.
Dear Mr. Will, one thing I've learned in 20 years in education is that there are two sides to every story. So I think I can imagine what started the fight. While nothing justifies striking another student, I know good friends are worth defending.
The principal then gives his response to Jack's letter, believing that he was not to blame because of the reason why he had fought Julian. This presents his own personal growth as well, as he had originally thought that Julian was one of the best kids in the whole school. Back in the hallway, the entire fight is then shot from a worm's eye view for the remainder of it, showing teachers and kids towering over the scene with shocked reactions, then pulling the two apart, separating them for good and ending the tension between them.
So, after your 2-day suspension, your scholarship will be waiting for you. Just keep up the good work, and keep being the fine boy we all know you to be. Sincerely, Mr. Tushman.
As it appears that Julian and Jack still have the urge to fight one another while being restrained by the teachers, Jack easily breaks down crying as realization grows inside of him of what he had done. It shows the heart and deep care that he possesses as he confides in his teacher for comfort when the principal states, "Keep up the good work, and keep being the fine boy we all know you to be." The scene then ends, paneling over to Augie, who avoids eye contact, knowing that he was the reason why Jack had gotten into a fight with Julian. Similar technical choices are used when the fight is initiated, like the fading out of the background noise when the protagonist punches the bully and the focus on the crowd of students that appears around the area in a similar fashion. Stephen Chbosky tends to compose the most emotion out of his films that he can create through characters' actions, words, music, and the perspective that scenes are shot from.